Knights 2. Drew Clark pitched the best game he has all summer. Gives way now to right-hander Drew Baumgartner. Baumgartner listed at 6'1", 145 pounds. Out of Feather River, he delivers a first pitch strike to Jake Holcroft. The 0-1 pitch lifted foul to the left and out of play, and Jake quickly down 0-2. Holcroft 1 for 3 on the night, trying to be, as he so often has, a catalyst from the top of the order. And the Knights down a run in the bottom of the 8th. Baumgartner's strike 2 pitch. Jake fights it off, fouling it straight back. 0-2 the count. The top of the order up for the Knights. In the bottom of the 8th, down a run. Holcroft, Atwood, and Briley Knight. Baumgartner kicks, comes back 0-2. Holcroft punches it in the air and playable. And backing up to get it is Chase Fernlin at the rim at short. One away. Andy Atwood to the plate. Baumgartner is making just his second appearance, 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks. Drew Baumgartner from Quincy, California, competing at Feather River, has made just 1 appearance this summer until now. He delivers a breaking ball strike, 0-1 the count. Andy Atwood has sacrificed it back to the box and grounded into a double play. Looks at another breaking ball taken for a strike. Jason Bush got away with that one. A little bit of the Sammy White phenomenon, as Casey Stengel used to say of the old Husky catcher. I bow to his skill of framing a ball up. Strike 2 pitch, a bouncer to Nico Bergarello. The second baseman for Ben picks it up, throws to first. Atwood retired. 2 away in the bottom of the 8th. Briley Knight to the plate.
All right, fans, here comes the center fielder now, number 14.
Briley 1 for 3. Single to right field in the 6th. The first pitch from Baumgartner to Briley, high and away, ball 1. The team with the worst record in the West Coast League has controlled this game. 3-2, I should say. 3-2 Bend in the bottom of the 8th. 2 down, bases empty. Briley takes outside, ball 2, 2-0. If Briley keeps it going, Brooks Lee would get an opportunity. Brooks swinging a bat in the on-deck circle. The 2-0 pitch. Briley swings and rips it under the glove of Brad Morgan into right field for a base hit. Briley, an aggressive turn at first, scrambles back to the bag with Jack Johnson getting the ball back in. Boy, Briley plays the game the right way. When you talk about Sanchez and others staring and not running hard, Jock Peterson bench for not running out a ground ball, Briley Knight quite the antithesis. Ripped that to right, took off out of the box, fully recovered, it appears, from that hamstring issue. Took an aggressive turn at first. Had there been any bobble or hesitation on Johnson's part, Briley was going to try to get into second. Here comes Brooks Lee, who's 1 for 3. The Knights trailing 3-2. Brooks homered yesterday in Bend. Wouldn't mind a repeat performance here. If he's able to get one, the Knights would have the lead. Brooks takes high and away, ball 1, 1-0. Briley Knight caught stealing in the 6th inning. With 2 down, Brooks Lee with a count of 1 ball and no strikes, with Brook Knight going through the signs at third. Brooks back in. The switch hitting shortstop awaits Baumgartner, whose breaking ball misses for ball 2, 2-0. Even with Knight representing the tying run, my sense is Ben would be careful with Brooks Lee here. Zach, a right-handed hitter, 0 for 3. Baumgartner, the right-hander, behind Brooks Lee, 2-0 with Briley Knight at first and 2 down. The 2-0 fastball, knee-high inside corner for a strike, and the count 2-1. Brooks back in with the Knights trailing 3-2. Out of the stretch works Jake Wilson in his first inning of work. Comes to the plate and misses. Low and in. Ball 3. 3-1. Brooks Lee back in with a good hitter's count. 3 balls and a strike. Briley getting his lead, held on by Brad Morgan. 3-2 Bend, bottom of the 8th. The 3-1 pitch, Lee sends it to deep left field. Zavolta, though, has a play. Goes back just shy of the warning track to make the catch. Brooks. Now Knights, as Pioneer Connect has done all 13 years, the Knights have been in Corvallis with Military Appreciation Night, Fireworks Night, and once again being the exclusive postseason partner. Join us August 14th for the Knights against somebody right here, thanks to Pioneer Connect. Top of the 9th inning, 3-2 Bend against the playoff-bound Knights. The Elks won't have a postseason destination this summer, bringing the league's worst record into this contest, but leading the Knights 3-2 in the top of the 9th inning. Eric Hill delivers the 1-1 pitch to Zach Needham, who blasted a 2-run home run in the 4th. The difference in the game, obviously, 3-2 Bend in the 9th. Needham takes low and in, ball 2, 2-1. Hill delivers the breaking ball high, ball 3, 3-1. Zach Needham, Justin Parsons, and Chase Fernland. McKenna and Harper come by to say hello. Hi, Harper. Hi, McKenna. What's the are you here to see about the player? Nick Jovetic. Yeah. Okay, thank you. The pitch missing for ball 4. Zach Needham trots down to first by Harper. Harper threw out a ceremonial good pitch tonight. She threw out a ceremonial first pitch. Bree Miller's daughter, Harper, threw the ceremonial first pitch out tonight and made it a good one. She and McKenna, fast friends, walking through the ballpark together and coming up and inquiring of me who our Washington Park Advisors player of the game. Nick Jovetic would be the leader in the clubhouse right about now. I don't think he's in the clubhouse, even though he could be, I suppose, as the DH. A throw to first base and Zach Needham back. Needham has been tough on the Knights throughout this series, which is now in its 4th game. Bend hoping to get an insurance run, playing for a run. Justin Parsons bunt, and he bunts foul. No balls and 1 strike the count. There is also an entry. Joe Schultz with a colorful expression in the July 30th entry in ball 4. And if you have a copy of ball 4, I'll just let you go look up what Joe Schultz said about bunting. Justin Parsons trying to bunt. And we'll just leave it at that. The strike 1 pitch, a bunt attempt missed. And the count 0-2. Zach Needham drawing a leadoff walk in the top of the 9th inning. Bend with a 3-2 lead on the Corvallis Knights, who in the bottom of the 9th will send Zach Moeller, Michael Curiali, and Nick Jovetic to the plate. Eric Hill steps off the rubber. The Knights pitching has been just fine. A little bump in the road for Connor Redmond with the 3-run 4th inning, the 2-run blast by Needham, the difference. Connor pitched well, and Eric Hill certainly is not allowed a run. The pitch is pulled foul into the first base coaching area for the Bend Elks. No balls and 2 strikes to Justin Parsons. The 0-2 pitch, that's hit foul the other way. It remains no balls and 2 strikes to Parsons. Joe Dominiak going through the signs at third. Zach Needham representing a very important run. That's why Parsons was at least asked on 1 pitch to try to get a sacrifice down. He hits a line drive to right field. Michael Dixon on the run makes the catch. 1 away. Chase Fernland, 0 for 3, will come to the plate. Again, you can get tickets for Knights postseason baseball. Look forward to seeing you here on August 14th. Don't know whom the opponent will be, either the winner of the second half, if it's not the Knights, or the team with the overall best record would take on Corvallis in that opening series. And right now, that team, if it would be Walla Walla at 24-17, the only team above 500. So it looks as though the race for it to be somebody other than Walla Walla would have to be the winner of the second half. And the Knights start the night with a 2.5 game lead on Cowlitz in the South. The Knights, of course, the winners of the first half. There goes Needham. He got a good jump. The throw from Moeller down to second is in time for the out to Andy Atwood. Good jump or not. Moeller, a good transfer quickly, firing a strike to get Needham to Andy Atwood. Good job by Zach. That was quick and accurate. 2 down. And a count of 1-0 to Chase Fernland, who takes a strike, and the count 1-1. The Elks getting their leadoff man aboard via a walk, but not able to cash him in. Now trying to restart something with 2 down and nobody on. The ball hooked down the left field line in the corner. Hit well but foul off of the railing of the TNT Builders party deck at Manners, along the rail where a lot of fans enjoy the view. I even got to watch a little Oregon State baseball this spring from down there during the men's basketball season, when my good friend John Warren was calling the Beaver baseball games early in the year, and would come out when he was still calling the games, and took in some action both from KC Corner and TNT Builders party deck just to see what it felt like and looked like, and excellent views from both. The pitch on the way misses just outside. Ball 2, 2-2 to Chase Fernland. 2 down, nobody on. Top of the ninth, 3-2 Bend. The 2-2 breaking ball in the dirt. Ball 3, 3-2. Jason Bush on deck. Again, in the bottom of the inning, Moeller, Curiali, and Jovetic, the scheduled hitters. 3-2 pitch, a ground ball to the left of Brooks Lee. Brooks goes and gets it, fires to first for the out to retire the side. A leadoff. Bottom of the ninth inning. Let's see what the Knights can do. It's been a magical run to win back-to-back West Coast League championships, to have the best overall record again in the summer of 19, trying to four-peat. They're down a run to Bend as we go to the bottom of the ninth. First ball swinging, Michael Curiali, or Zach Moeller, I should say. It's a line drive, a bullet into the stands, and that could be an uh-oh kind of moment down there. That got into the stands in a hurry, and Brooke Knight is walking over, and time is called. Brooke wants to make sure that everybody's okay. I see a lot of folks standing, and a member of the security team comes over. I think everyone's going to be okay, but it got in there so quickly that it immediately drew the attention of Brooke Knight and Wes, one of the security team members. A couple of them are down there taking a look. There's a youngster who may have been contacted by the ball. The 1-1 pitch to Moeller, high, ball 2, 2-1. The Knights team trainer goes into the stands, but Dad sitting next to his youngster, being tended to, answering questions, and it looks as though he's going to be okay. Moeller, in the meantime, hits another ground ball foul that way, but I think everyone's all right. In fact, I see some smiles down there now, and that's I'm glad to report that. Scary, though. That ball got into the stands in a hurry off the bat of Zach Moeller, leading things off in the bottom of the ninth. The Knights trailing 3-2. 2-2 to Zach, who is 0 for 3. Drew Baumgartner to the plate. Fastball taken. Strike 3 called. The pitch nearly hit Moeller. And here comes Brooke Knight to say, how in the world do you call that strike 3? The pitch nearly hit him. And, you know, Brook, as he knows, can't, quote, argue balls and strikes, unquote. Zach Moeller can't either, but both are. Moeller did, Brook Knight does. The pitch missing inside by quite a bit, so it appeared. And that's a tough way to begin for the Knights. Moeller strikes out looking, one away. A 3-strikeout night for Zach, although that one doesn't appear to be on him. And Brook Knight backpedaling into the coach's box at third, not giving up easily. Michael Curiali, the batter, is grounded to third, single to center, tripled and scored in the 7th. We're in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch, breaking ball up and into Michael. Ball 1, 1-0. 3-2 Bend, bottom of the 9th inning. The 1-0 pitch, Curiali, a fly ball to center and shallow. Parsons was very deep. Justin races in, overruns the ball and drops it. Into second base safely goes Michael Curiali. It looked for a moment as though it was 2 outs and nobody on. Parsons was very deep. Curiali races into second on the 2-base error on Justin Parsons' part. And so the Knights have the tying run in scoring position with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning, trailing 3-2. Nick Jovetic is the batter. The pitching coach, Doug Davis, heading out to the mound for the Bend Elks. A heck of a note for Drew Baumgartner in that he was an out away from a victory, it appeared. But Parsons very deep, and one could tell just by the way he was racing in on the ball that it wasn't going to be an easy chance. He got there, but there ended up being a little bit too far. He overran the ball, got his glove on the baseball, juggled, and tried to catch it before it hit the turf. And it landed on a hop where it was gathered in by the second baseman, Nico Bergarello. But Curiali alertly getting into second base on the drop pop fly in center, the 3rd error for Bend. Doug Davis, I think, trying to help Drew out a little bit by saying, hey, you're making good pitches. Keep doing it, and you'll get the big win, the save here after all. Baumgartner on for his 2nd inning of work. Now, Nick Jovetic, the hitter. Michael Dixon on deck. The tying run at second base, 1 out, bottom of the 9th.
Now batting your designated hitter, here's number 37, Nick Jovetic.
Bend has indeed been a tough out for the Knights. An apparent mismatch on paper and the standings and all of that. It hasn't quite looked that way in the 6 games that are consecutive against these 2 long-time in-state West Coast League rivals. The first pitch to Jovetic misses low and away, ball 1. Bend won the opener 13-1 of this 6-game set on Saturday. The Knights had to rally to win on Sunday and then hold off a furious rally by Bend late last night. Drew Baumgartner's 1-0 pitch off speed and up, ball 2, 2-0. Now the Knights go from appearing to be dealing with 2 outs and nobody on and an out away from defeat to a real look at it now with Curiali at second, 1 out. 3-2 Elks, bottom of the 9th. The 2-0 pitch outside, a back pick down to second, and Curiali just did get back. A nice catch by the shortstop, Chase Fernland. Otherwise, that ball goes into center field, and Curiali gets to third with 1 out. Good catch by Fernland. 3 balls and no strikes to Nick Jovetic, who homered back in the 2nd. The 3-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 3-1. Nick homered in the 2nd, lined into a double play in the 4th, struck out in the 7th. Trying to get the Knights even with a base hit here in the bottom of the 9th. Curiali gets his lead. Baumgartner's 3-1 pitch on the inside corner for strike 2, 3-2. Michael Dixon next. Baumgartner coming back from a 3-0 count, trying to deliver the Bend Elks a victory. And while it's highly unlikely that Bend, 8.5 games back, can make a move to get back in it, They want to do all they can to win as many games down the stretch and at least give themselves a look. The 3-2 pitch misses high and inside for ball 4. So the Knights suddenly go from what appeared to be 2 outs and nobody on to 2 on and 1 out. The winning run's on base. Michael Dixon, the batter. Dixon getting his first at-bat of the evening. Michael had 2 hits and a run batted in the Knights' 7-5 victory in Bend last night. Curiali at second, Jovetic the winning run at first. Dixon looks at a breaking ball, a called strike, and Brook Knight again beside himself. The pitch appeared to be several inches outside. Brook started to come out of the box again, but he's already spoken his piece. Dixon asks for time with the right-hander Drew Baumgartner coming back a little bit too quickly after jumping ahead of Michael 0-1. Curiali at second, Jovetic at first, 3-2 Bend in the bottom of the 9th inning. Michael Dixon awaits. He had a walk-off hit here in the Knights' last homestand. Takes a look at a breaking ball that gets away from the catcher, and the runners will move up 90 feet, crashing into the dugout, coming to the plate and trying to score. The throw to the plate is in time to get Curiali. Curiali's coming over and saying, wait a minute now, that ball was in the dugout, and the ground rule should have been invoked. That the catcher threw from the dugout. He had leaned into the dugout and cannot make a play from within the dugout. Curiali was thrown out at the plate. The tying run goes to third. The wild pitch sending the runners to second and third, and then ill-advisedly, quite honestly, Curiali trying to score. Now I get it, with only 1 out, he's trying to get that tying run in. But now there are 2 outs, and I think Brook wants the umpires to talk about a ground rule that should be invoked, that the ball went into the dugout, the catcher went into the dugout, and the catcher should not have been allowed to make a play from within the dugout steps. And his body was clearly in the dugout steps. And Kellen Camus comes out to point that out to Brook Knight. And I think a ground rule should be invoked and that Curiali should be sent back to third or be allowed to score depending on how they determine, where the positioning of the runner. Do you start where the runners began, or do you determine that once the ball went into the dugout that he would be awarded an extra base? And nope, the out is going to stand. The out is going to stand, and Brook Knight is very upset about this call. He's not been too happy most of the evening, and he's not getting any relief here. The out stands. Curiali was out, and there's no question about that in terms of the play at the plate. The catcher, Jason Bush, chasing down the wild pitch into the Knights' dugout. The ball went into the railing of the dugout and maybe even down in. Now Brook Knight's been ejected again. He was ejected in Portland recently, and so since he's been ejected, he's going to get all over the 2 guys again. This will be Brooks' second ejection in the last week and a half, all over 2 guys that he thinks are not doing their job properly. I'll be very interested to hear what Brook is invoking as he's ejected again. And for a guy whose team is riding herd over the rest of the league and has won back-to-back West Coast League championships, I know that he's not pleased with, in a sense, the way the team has scuffled a little bit of late. He's not pleased with the umpiring that he's seen tonight. And in a situation where he felt as though, A, he'd have the tying run, or B, at worst, have second and third and 1 out with a chance to win it on a base hit. Both of those scenarios don't come to pass, and Brook is ejected. I'll be curious to visit with Brook tomorrow about what it was that he felt the umpires botched or mishandled, because certainly Curiali was out at the plate on the play from Jason Bush to Baumgartner covering. That was not a question. I think Brook was upset that the umpires didn't throw their hands up, call the play dead when the ball rolled into the dugout, or at least right on the edge of the dugout, with the catcher making the play with half of his body down the steps of the dugout. I don't think that is something he is allowed to do, and I think that's Brooks's basic point. 1 ball and 1 strike, meanwhile, to Michael Dixon. Dixon now I'm not sure what the Joe Dominiak wants to talk to the home plate umpire about. Maybe he wants to say, hey, you know, Brook was right. We should allow the run to score. No, I don't think so. But Dominiak, whatever he could be arguing about, everything's worked out fine for him. 2 down in the inning. Zach Moeller called out on strikes, and a pitch was not close to a strike and was called out on it to open the inning. The Knights caught a break when Curiali hit a fly ball to center and Justin Parsons dropped it. Now, what Joe Dominiak's beef might be here, I'm curious. In the meantime, the other umpire comes down to visit with Ed Nags. It's not Dominiak, it's Knights coach Ed Nags talking with the 2 umpires along with Young Jin Yoon. So Ed may be taking up, it's not Dominiak, Ed may be taking up the Brook Knight argument. Say, now, I know you've thrown Brook out, but you know what, guys? Brook is right. So even though he's gone, he's picking up the argument with the umpires here, with Young Jin Yoon, arms folded, a few feet away from the scene here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field in the bottom of the 9th inning. Bend leading 3-2. As it stands now, there are 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Nick Jovetic, the tying run at third. Kellen Campus is staring across at the conversation. And here comes Joe Dominiak, I think, trying to say, are we going to play ball again? Now, the umpires are talking to Joe. I wonder if Ed Nags won the point. Dominiak has come out of the Bend Elks dugout to talk to the home plate umpire. Brook Knight has been ejected for arguing the call. I think Kellen Camus is trying to say that, you know, Kellen is telling Ed and Young Jin Yoon perhaps about the ground rule that should have been invoked. Ed is not giving up on this quite yet. He comes back again, I think, to point out to the home plate umpire, you're wrong about the ground rule or not invoking the ground rule properly. And Ed's still not giving up on it. And Joe, at this point, it still looks as though the Knights are on the losing end of this argument in the bottom of the 9th. If you're just kind of joining us wondering what the heck's going on, so am I. But with runners at first and second, and Michael Dixon at the plate, with the Knights trailing 3-2 here in the bottom of the 9th. Drew Baumgartner uncorked a wild pitch, sending Michael Curiali into third and Nick Jovetic into second. The ball got away from the catcher, Jason Bush, and rolled either into or in front of or right on the edge of going down the steps into the Knights dugout on the third base side. The catcher, Jason Bush, raced over, fell down, slid. Half of his body appeared to me from where I was to be kind of in the Knights dugout when he picked the ball up and threw to the plate to Drew Baumgartner covering, who applied a tag on Michael Curiali. Curiali was tagged out. Brook Knight immediately was coming down saying, no, that's not right. And Brook, very upset about the call, argued to the point of being ejected. And Brook's done, but now Ed Nags, taking over at third base with 2 down in the bottom of the 9th, has picked up the argument, obviously, from where Brook Knight left it off before Brook, in a peak, was ejected. And Ed Nags comes over to Kellen Camus to report on the conversation. And it's clear that Ed, Kellen, Young Jin Yoon, the Knights all feel as though they've been jobbed and wronged here. And now Joe Dominiak talking to the home plate umpire. Now, I'm not sure if the talk with the home plate umpire from Dominiak's perspective is a good thing, because if it were status quo, you would just simply say, if you're the umpire, play ball. We've got a runner at third, 2 down, a 1-run game in the bottom of the 9th inning. He might not say all of that, but it would be the reality of the situation, and there would be no need for this kind of lengthy conversation with Joe Dominiak. So perhaps something may be altered here. I don't know why you would have to have such a long conversation with the Bend skipper if a ground rule is now not being perhaps properly invoked. And we'll see. Now, here we go. The umpire pointed to the plate. Does that mean that did he point to the plate allowing a run to score? He pointed to the plate, like pointed down. He did not again put his fist in the air as though there were 2 down. So I think if a run had scored, Joe Dominiak would have been very upset. The count, meanwhile, 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. After all of that, we're in the bottom of the 9th. Dixon trying to give the Knights a tie with a base hit. Baumgartner delivers, and the pitch is in the turf. Ball 2, 2-1. Boy, we've seen some strange things in the summer of 19, from calls and umpiring decisions. Brook has been ejected twice now in the last week over such matters. 2 balls and a strike, 2 down, bottom of the 9th. Dixon swings and misses, and the count 2-2. The Knights are down to their final strike, trailing 3-2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. After a lengthy conversation and argument from Brook Knight and Ed Nags, the Knights lose the argument, now trying to avoid losing the game. Jovetic at third, 2 down, bottom of the 9th. The 2-2 pitch to Dixon popped up into right field and playable. Jack Johnson moving in and over and makes the catch. Bend wins it 3-2. Amid great controversy. If Curiali hadn't broken, the Knights would have had the tying and winning runs in scoring position, but Curiali trying to score. Brook Knight comes out of the clubhouse office and will shake hands with Joe Dominiak. Not sure exactly what that was all about, but hope to try to find out from Brook wherein the umpires erred, because based on Brook Knight, Ed Nags, longtime veteran coaches and players, and Jung Jin Yoon pointing to Brook now where the ball went into the dugout, or the catcher looked at it. Dante Ludlow will have a look at it, perhaps on the Corvallis Knights live stream, and you have the advantage of me on that, watching replays over and over. The Knights feel as though they've been jobbed. They should have either had a run home or runners at second and third and 1 out, down 3-2. So Bend, kind of in a very fortunate way, wins the ball game 3-2. They did get a 2-run home run from Zach Needham, the key blow of the game. 3 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors for Bend, 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Corvallis. The teams have split the first 4 games of this series, the best against the worst from a record standpoint, and yet Bend is 2-2 through 4. We'll be back tomorrow night for Game 5 of the series. We'll be on the air at 6:30. Our final score tonight, Bend 3, the Knights 2. For Dale Hummel, this is Mike Parker. Thanks for joining us on 1240 Joe Radio. So long, everybody. Goodbye, Albert.
Oh,
good to see you. Goodbye, you guys.
So do you hear about night yesterday, David?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't know if you saw that in the GT. That was kind of surprising.
Bye.
I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, I'm very surprised and disappointed all the while.